I'm gonna say it right now, but it should be obvious just by publishing this video. I loved The Last of Us Part 2 with all my heart, and I think it's one of the best games of this generation. I still haven't figured if I love this game more than the first one, but I know this series has a very special place in my gamer heart. To celebrate that and share with you my love for this game, I've made this top 10 list with my favorite moments in the game. These are my personal choices. They are based on how much I enjoyed playing and watching them. It's completely subjective. There are moments of horror, violence, and love. I'm sure you have your own, even if they are just letting Abby die horribly. So please tell me in the comments which moments are your favorites. Of course, this will contain a lot of heavy spoilers, so be warned. Ready? Okay, here we go. Number 10, the aquarium. You visit this Seattle location a couple of times in the game. The one that I love is when Abby and Owen are a couple and discover the beautiful settings hidden in this forgotten fish zoo. The place is full of wonderful details that artists Naughty Dog put to let us imagine how awesome this place was before Outbreak Day. Here you also discover the tragic story of a broken family that was attacked by the Seraphites and then seduced their children to become part of them. You can inspect the room where they lived, and you find the corpse of the father, who has been there for years after their kids left. So that's very sad. This aquarium scene, it's just beautiful, and I love it, and I think it's one of Abby's best moments. Number 9, the Rat King. This moment could be taken straight out of the best Resident Evil games. Abby enters Ground Zero at Seattle looking for medical supplies. By doing so, she unleashes the most dangerous and terrifying creature the Cordyceps fungus ever created, the Rat King. This battle is not that hard once you have a clear vision of the arena where you fight, but still, the disgusting creature made of nightmares provides, I think, one of the best battles of the game. What do you think about the Rat King? Did you like it? Did it really scare you? Number 8, the Sky Bridge, the Vertigo scene. It is very difficult for players to feel empathy for Abby, but here is, I think, one of the best ways to do it. Sharing their fears. Abby is afraid of heights, and this moment gives a true sensation of vertigo by how the camera moves and how sensible the joystick is. At the same time, the bond between Abby and Lev becomes stronger, with Lev giving psychological support for Abby to continue. It's an intimate, scary, and also beautiful moment that humanizes a character many of us despise. It's a great effort from the storytellers to make us feel not so much hate for Abby. This scene, it's also beautiful because it's a scary scene, but there are no enemies to confront. So I think that's nice. Number 7, the farmhouse. After the tragic and violent trip to Seattle, Ellie and Dina establish a family in an old farmhouse. Here you have one of the few relaxing moments in the game. Ellie explores the farm with baby Jesse Joel, or is it Joel Jesse? I don't know. Many say that this part should have been the ending of the game, but I do not agree. It wouldn't be honest. It also would be kinda cheesy. This moment is great because it gives a false sensation of peace until we discover that Ellie suffers from PTSD. Ellie gives up her opportunity to be happy because inside she's still burning with hate and a desire for vengeance. And she takes one step too far. She gives up the chance to be happy with Dina, and in a very hostile world. So yeah, this scene is at the end very very sad. Number 6, Joel's house. The scene after one of the most horrifying deaths in gaming history. We enter Joel's house after he has been killed. For me, this is the saddest moment in the game, the one that brings tears to my eyes. It feels so real, so devastating to check the items that belong to someone who isn't with you anymore. It's something you do in real life after someone you love dies. Check and collect the things that represent the essence of this person. It is so painful to see again the photo of Joel with Sarah, the same one that meant so much in the past game. And it is next to a photo of Joel and Ellie together. Then you collect the broken watch and the revolver, the two items that pretty much condensate what Joel was. This moment, I think, is a magnificent lesson on level design, on how to build a setting with so much emotional power. Number 5, Haven Burning. The climax of the battle among wolves and Seraphites, with Abby and Lev trapped in between. Everyone is trying to kill them, and they just want to escape alive from there. This is what a cycle of violence and vengeance does to two factions. Complete destruction of both sides. Death and fire create a shocking and somehow dazzling scene. It shows what humanity looks when it is pushed to its limits by intolerance and hate. I think this whole moment, it's beautiful and horrifying at the same time. It makes a very deep, shocking impression on the player. Number 4, The Beach. The final battle between Ellie and Abby, an extremely violent fight to the death that culminates the cycle of vengeance that is destroying Ellie. This fight reminded me of a similar fight in Uncharted 4. If you play that game, you probably know what I'm talking about. A quiet beach, blinded by dense mist, is the scenario on which Ellie wants to revenge Joel's death finally. I know that people hate how this fight ends. Many people felt it empty and unsatisfying. Ellie letting Abby go seems to make the whole journey look pointless, but it isn't. This is what I think. If Ellie killed Abby, the cycle of vengeance will probably repeat itself, with Lev trying to kill Ellie. Remember, it was Lev, the one that stopped Abby to kill pregnant Dina. So Ellie owes him. Ellie finally realizes what hate and vengeance do to people. It's a little too late for her, because by then she has lost everything. But still, she stops because she has to. Without she realizing it, she's also letting a new path of hope for humanity, because Abby and Lev are looking for the new Fireflies. Number 3, Confrontation at the Theater. Holy moly! Abby fights Ellie in one of the most exciting boss battles in Naughty Dog's history. You fight against the character that you're supposed to love. This way you are able to understand how dangerous and evil Ellie can be. There are good examples of games where you have to fight in some kind of boss battle against a character that you control or care about in the past. And this one feels so scary and unpleasant to help Abby defeat Ellie, because many of us don't want that. I'm sure I'm not the only one who didn't press the buttons when the game told me to. I preferred Ellie to win, but I also wanted to keep going. Number 2, the museum. For many people, this is their favorite moment. It is happy, a beautiful time where Joel shines as a father figure. It brings the best of the Left Behind DLC gameplay. You just have to explore and interact with objects, and you are rewarded with funny and heartwarming moments. The father and daughter relationship between Joel and Ellie is what many of us wanted from this game, and it is fascinating. If it's gonna be a DLC, I think it will be wonderful to have another moment like this one. Probably it won't be, but it will be wonderful. And number 1, the epilogue. Ellie returns to the farmhouse, only to find that Dina and JJ are not there anymore. There is nothing left except for Ellie's belongings. Ellie takes the guitar that Joel gave her at the beginning of the game, and now she's not capable of playing it, because in the last fight against Abby, she lost 2 fingers. The one thing that still connected her with Joel, which bring him somehow alive again, is missed forever. Ellie has lost everything. We then discover the last loving moment between Ellie and Joel, the night before he was murdered. After a time of distance and resentment, we have a glimpse of love, of forgiveness, that started that night. A promise of a new start was born at this moment, and that makes even more tragic the death of Joel. You can see how his heart breaks with joy the moment Ellie tells him that she wants to forgive him. This is one of the most powerful endings in video game history, alongside the one from the first Last of Us game. So, these were my top 10 moments of from The Last of Us Part 2. Which are your favorite ones? By any chance, they involve watching Abby die horribly? Let me know in the comments. Please give this video a like and subscribe to this channel, and then have a good day and have fun. Bye!